by the way, everyone, thank you for Waterfront Boating and Beaches with Sandra LaFlamme and Dave McLaughlin at the beginning. Thank you, Dave, for being here today. And we've got some things to clear up for buyers in our marketplace. A pre-approval with someone, not you or some of the other folks, you're going to get pre-approved with information that's not correct. Dave will give you the real information. If you're pre-approved, he will also tell you whether you can be in a homeowners association. It has to do with if you're retired and you have money, those loans depend on also your monthly assessment. Let's talk more because this is on everyone's mind this week who are moving here and getting great loans. If you're above 55 and not working anymore or working on your second career, your income looks differently and there's a different real live approval limit that we're looking at, isn't there, Dave?
Well, there is, and that's a great question. And a lot of people are busy right now, Sandra, so they're really speeding through the pre-approval process. And I call that a pre-qualification, where they're just taking some basic information and saying, yes, you're good to go based on credit, go buy a house. But what happens then once you go out and you spend your time, your energy, and your resources. Okay, no worries. So what I was saying is, if you don't do it the right way, you might not qualify for that home, and then you spend money on a home inspection, you get all your hopes up, you spend money on the appraisal, and then you find out you're not qualified. So we had somebody recently, excellent credit, lots of assets, but her income wasn't what it used to be. And we talk about that in our past podcasts, where we're able to take a required minimum distribution. However, you have to have an account that's eligible for the required minimum distribution. So that's where the expertise comes in. You have to have the right professional that knows the right question to ask to make sure that we can use that income. And then also, like you said, if you buy into a homeowners association that has a monthly fee, that could bump up the debt to income ratio to make you not qualify. So people forget about that. It's taxes and insurance and the HOA. Even though you pay those separate, we still have to count those as part of the payment.
Right. And speaking of, everyone says, yes, I have money in my 401k, but we have to look at what that distribution limit is and when you can distribute every quarterly, once in a lifetime. Let's talk a little bit more about that, Dave. What are you finding?
Yeah, so you have to be 59 and a half. So you actually have to be retirement age in order to do it. And it has to be like an IRA or a 401k, and you have to be able to take that distribution. And yes, sometimes there's a penalty. Sometimes there's some tax implications. So you need to work that out with your advisor and your tax consultant. But 9 times out of 10, we can get that done with just one distribution. A lot of the more conservative institutions, they require 3 months. So a lot of times people don't have 3 months when they're looking for a property. You're showing them a home. The market's hot. The pre-approval is so important. That's why we're talking about it. It has to be the number one thing you do first, so that when you find the right property, the dream home, we have the right expertise to get you into that property with no stress. And that's what we do.
Yes, it causes a lot of stress not having a pre-approval from a top-notch person like yourself. What's the best way that people get a hold of you?
Best way is 941-724-7653.
Oh, good. And thank you for that. And along those lines, for me, when I'm with somebody, we make the call. And if they're not going to make it on this particular property, I'm there to make sure that it doesn't fall apart as far as their home search. But I've got 20 years of experience, and I know there's a good chance that they have not been given the full story from the person they spoke to before they met with me and before they met with you. Knowing these neighborhoods is just as important to find the neighborhoods we like as much as the ones we don't like. So we don't want to fall in love with one home. We want to get to know the neighborhood and what we're approved for, because in a fast market like this, equipping ourselves for that decision is of utmost importance, isn't it, Dave?
Well, it really is. And I know just from experience, you and I were talking, it came up with one of our retired borrowers where, they were disappointed they couldn't get the neighborhood that they wanted based on the income, but you were so quick on your feet and you were able to reassure her and let her know that there's many, many places that she could find that would be a great investment, a great home for her. And, that's part of the teamwork, and that's part of putting, the horse before the cart, and knowing what you can do so that when you find it, you're able to execute that plan. And that's you asking the right questions.
And you too, Dave. And thank you for doing that this week. You do that for everyone that I work with, and you're readily available. And of course, I'm Sandra LaFlamme with EXP, and I've been helping family move for 20 years. That's why you and I have such a strong working relationship, because we've been there, done that for over 20 years. Can you think of anything you want to add this week to our show?
I just think, we're here. It's the beginning of February. Interest rates remain historically low. So we're below 3% on an interest rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage. If you're looking at a primary or a secondary home, we're in the low 3%. So if you're looking at an investment property, so still a great time to move to our area. People are still coming here, but I always throw that out because people want to know about the rates. So they're still low.
Yes, and I've been told that it's great golfing weather, except you got to wear slacks and not shorts right now.
You do. It's a little chilly out there, but it's always nice to golf. And I found out there's more fairways here than beaches. Linear feet. I didn't know that until a few podcasts ago. But yeah, it's always a great time. And I see you're everywhere. I see you're feeding the hungry. I mean, is there anything you don't do, Sandra?
Well, that's the nice thing about being around here for a long time. For those of us who are here to benefit the community with our expertise as business people, we're also giving back to our community. And that's what makes this a great area to move to. And you've been here your entire life. I think you find it the same way, don't you, Dick?
I do. I've been here my whole life, and it's definitely changed, but changed for the better. I love everything, and the ambiance, the feel, the people. It's just a great place to be.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. Great show today. I know you got to go. I do too. Have a great week, and I look forward to talking to you next Tuesday.
Happy selling.
Thank
See you,
you.
Sandra.
Bye.
Bye.